Hi again, more on the passive probe. Part of my R&D into this project was getting the hang of finding it where the camera is, was working out what would happen if you did prang the probe. So if you've got the stock very slim ceramic probe in it, it's probably just going to break without much load at all, maybe only 500 grams or something. But if you've got the stiffer style of probe that I've been doing videos on, the carbide probe, originally, actually give credit to John Grimsmo of Grimsmo Knives, I got the idea from. What happens then if it's crashed, if the stylus is crashed, is the damage to the probe? Well, if you look at the inside of it, if it pivots on two of the axles, that's, and I'll show it in side view, like that, if it's pivoting on two, it only moves a short distance and then the hub comes in contact with that front ring or front plate and jams. So it's not going to hurt the probe itself too much. It'll take quite a load before any damage was done there, and then the stylus stem would probably break. If it pivots on one of those axles, it'll pivot a lot further. Two of the axles will come back and enter down inside the body of the probe itself, inside the two pairs of pogo pins, and eventually the hub will come in contact down on the circuit board there. Again, probably won't do too much damage. If you're unlucky, it might damage the pogo pins, which could be a bit of a pain to replace or repair. It would probably hold it enough to break the stem again. Definitely of a 2mm carbide, probably a 3mm carbide, but still it could damage it internally, and so a good reason for me to develop this overload protection device. Well, while I've got it apart, a quick note on maintenance. I note in the Tormach information technical sheet and other correspondence I've had on this with them on this subject, that the main problem with these low-cost passive probes is that the plain mechanical electrical connection surfaces can become slightly corroded, and that affects the electrical contact. So they talk about some special type of aerosol, LPS1 or something, but I can't get that here in New Zealand. So I'm just trying some WD-40 and cleaning it all carefully so there's no little bits of lint on it, and then just brushing that on these metal surfaces, these axles and the balls, as suggested by Tormach. So we'll see whether the waxy residue the WD-40 leaves behind will interfere with the function of it, and it will at least stop it from corroding in the short term. And a quick note on assembly. I would start by having these three grub screws backed off completely loose, so they're not having any impingement on the assembly, and then just tighten up the three little cap screws, not too tight, just sort of nipping them up really, and that way the front plate is sitting flat on the surface of the end of the probe body, which is probably a good starting point before you make any adjustments. Okay, so let's do some trials in the machine. Obviously this is just a prototype and I need to test it fully in the alpha stage before I'd even consider going any further with it. I've just fitted PathPilot in my second machine. So far I've only done videos of PathPilot in my my most recent machine. This is the original machine, sorry, and I managed to get it installed in an old office Dell Dimension C521. They're my old really old 2 XP computers with Mac 3 on them. So I've got it successfully installed on the Dell, and I wanted to support Tormach and bought the Misa card from them, and managed to get it installed okay. But that's another story. I've got a video on this enclosure and machine. My original machine runs beautifully on PathPilot. It's so much faster and smoother. This is the very compact enclosure that you can open right up to get access. Anyway, I diverge. So okay, so I've got the probe set up in the machine. I just want to test to see what happens if we crash it. This is what everybody fears. They buy a probe and then they break it. So let's just do that. Okay. There you go. So it's safely broken, and I can now install it back in again. Okay, small job to reinstall the probe, and seems to work fine. But I just wonder, how big is the market for this? I mean, I hear on YouTube and on some of the forums of owners who have broken several styluses, and it's quite a hassle and an expense for them. But you know, if there's only a couple of people that would be interested in it, I don't know how worthwhile it is me continuing developing it. It's been a fun project to get to this alpha stage, but I know the amount of work in taking it through to beta and through to market. So please, if you're interested in this device and you would like one, it wouldn't be expensive if it was produced in quantity. It's a very simple, low-cost design. But if you would be interested, please, and you genuinely would like to buy one, if one were available. This is not advertising a product, but just discussing it hypothetically. Please let me know. Please post a comment or post a post in the thread, because I'm genuinely unsure whether I should keep developing this or just keep it for my own use. So I'd love to hear back from you. Thank you.